Should be able to see my screen as well now. Great. Still one user who is logging in, so just wait for another few seconds and then we will start. Great. Great. So first and foremost, I really want to thank all of you for trusting Digital Vidya in your journey to learn digital marketing. My name is Kapil Nagra and I'm one of the co-founders of Digital Vidya. At Digital Vidya, I take care of the entire training program, which means that all the trainers you'll be interacting with are inducted by me. Entire content material, including the presentations, quizzes, assignments, projects, are either created by me, reviewed by me, or approved by me. Ultimately, my objective is to ensure that you get full value out of Digital Vidya's training program. Personally, I have close to 18 years of experience in digital marketing space. I'll keep talking about, keep sharing about my experiences as and when it is needed in today's discussion. So right now there are 11 of us in the session. In your formal training sessions, there would be anywhere between 25 to 30 odd participants. Since there are less number of participants, let's take that as an opportunity. Let's keep today's session as engaging as possible. So anytime during the session, if you have any question, you can either unmute yourself, ask your question, and then mute yourself back, or you can just type it down in the chat panel. I'm simultaneously looking into the chat panel window as well. So that's about the logistics. About today's session, today is your foundation session. Your training is starting from today. While we are not going to talk too much about digital marketing today, we are going to talk a lot about how the training is going to go. So in terms of agenda for today's session, I'll start with the course overview. Then I wanted to discuss some of the challenges that are there in learning digital marketing. After that, I want to have a quick discussion from the skill set perspective. What is needed to excel in digital marketing space? Digital Vidya program is designed in such a way that it has a set of pitfalls. So how do you take care of those pitfalls is something we would have a quick discussion on. And from your side, what is really needed? This is an online program, and a lot of you might not have attended an online training, that too for a duration of 3 months to 6 months, whatever duration you opted for. So it's very, very critical and important that you're aware of various aspects, and you should be clear in terms from your side what would be needed. So I'll have a quick discussion on that part as well. Your first week is very, very critical. The first week is about setting the foundation. All of you need to have an online presence where you would be applying your digital marketing learning. In the first week, you're going to set up your online presence. So that's the work in that direction will be started in today's session. And then we will end the session. It's 10:04 in my watch, and we would possibly end the session by 10:20, 10:25, 11:20, 11:25. So I would need about an hour, 20 minutes to complete this session. So that's a bit about what we would be doing. Let's move forward. Let's start with the course overview. First and foremost, I actually wanted to create with you the entire course structure. As a participant, you need to fundamentally worry about three things, or you need to fundamentally take care of three aspects. First and foremost are the live sessions. Now, live sessions are the one like what is going on right now. That's where all the knowledge will be provided. That's where you will be interacting with all the experts in digital marketing space. While we would be giving you recordings of all the live sessions, but believe me, there is no value in watching those recordings. There are better videos available on YouTube. You can directly go and check it out there. Right? The real value is in attending these live sessions, having a discussion with experts during the live session. And that is the reason we have actually made it mandatory that you should attend all the live session, unless there is some emergency at your end. If that's the case, then you can attend it, watch the recording at later time. But otherwise, make sure that you're scheduling yourself for all the live sessions. Yeah, Praful got it. There is an option somewhere wherein you can actually set your name, so you can just figure it out. It will be somewhere there in the control panel. Right? Otherwise, it's okay. Let's just continue with this. Now, once your live session is over, you will be left with a set of assignments. Every week will give you somewhere between 2 to 5 hours of assignments. There could be one assignment or four assignment. The assignment are designed in such a way that they give you hands-on exposure to what is going on in digital marketing. If you come and you're attending all the live sessions, you would really enjoy them. But if you're not doing hands-on work, there is no value in learning digital marketing. After 1 year, you're not going to remember anything that is being taught in the live session. You would only remember only those things wherein you have actually done something with your own hand. And that's the criticality of assignments. It is mandatory that you complete all the assignment. Without that, you will not be applicable for certification also. And without that, those of you looking for placement support, we have actually kept that as a mandatory condition. You have to complete all the assignment before you become applicable for it. So the reason is that it's very, very critical, and just we want to communicate it strongly. Now, while doing your assignments, or while practicing things hands on the business that you're associated with, or on your blog that you would be creating in today's session, if you face any problem, the place to get them resolved is the discussion forum. So during the live sessions, all your queries will be addressed, and after the live sessions, all the queries which you came across after the live session will be addressed on the discussion forum. The You must have got an access to the learning center by now. It was there in the welcome mail that was sent to you by your coordinator. Your learning center account has details of all the live sessions. It also have, like, all the recordings of the live sessions are also there in the learning center account. All the details of all the assignments, submission, in fact, the feedback that we would give you will be there in the Learning Center account. Each one of you will get personalized feedback on all the assignments that you would be submitting. And then even the link to the discussion forum is also there in the Learning Center account. So as far as the systems are concerned, there are two systems you need to take care: your Learning Center account, and secondly, the GoToMeeting account. Right? That's two would take care that you are aware of whatever is going on internally in your training program. In terms of various set of people you would be interacting with, all of you might have interacted with somebody from our sales team. Now, they are the sales coordinators. Their job is to ensure that you're clear in terms of whether this program is for you or not. And if that's the case, then you come and do our training program. So more or less, their role as far as your training is concerned is over. They're not going to contact you any further. Unless some of you have opted for installment based payment option, and if those installments are not happening in time, so they might follow up with you on the same, but otherwise they would not be contacting you any further. Each one of you is allotted a personalized learning coordinator. These are the set of people who are committed to ensure that you get full value out of the training program and you get your objectives fulfilled. Now, who are these coordinators? They're not really digital marketing experts, but they know a good amount of digital marketing. So they would be able to take care of your basic queries. And at the same time, anytime you face any problem with the training, they are the first person you should be contacting. You should, like, for example, if the trainer is going too fast for you, right, or you're not able to understand a particular assignment, or at a personal level, you're late in a particular class, you have some emergency at your end and you want some way to deal with it properly. So the person you should immediately get in touch with is your coordinator, and they would move things internally and make sure that things are getting resolved ASAP. Right? In terms of the people who would be giving you digital knowledge, they are your trainers and training assistants. Trainers are the one who would be taking your live classes. So one of the things that is really great about Digital Vidya, and which is very different from other training programs that are there, is we do not have one trainer for everything in digital space. What what we have done is we have divided the entire digital into series of modules, and each module will be taken by a separate trainer, somebody who is an hands-on expert who's been consulting organizations working right now so that they can give you the latest technical level details on what is going on. There's nobody in digital who knows everything that is happening. So that model really works to ensure that you get the best of everything that is available in digital space. So they would be taking your live sessions. Now, once your live session is over, your assignments will be evaluated by training assistants. These are all those set of people who are working in digital marketing domain, and most of them are ex-students who have done exceptionally good in the course as well. So once you submit the assignment, it's been passed on to training assistants, and they take 72 hours to evaluate your assignments and give you feedback on the same. And as far as your discussion forum is concerned, all your training assistants, your trainers, your internal digital Vidya marketing team, and myself, everybody would be active there. So you have any question, you just post it in the discussion forum, and we'll try to resolve it within 24 hours. In some of the cases, it might take a little longer, but in most of the cases, we try to ensure that you're getting a reply back within 24 hours. Right. So these are the sort of people who will be coordinating with you on regular basis. Apart from that, once your training program is about to get complete, somebody from our placement team will contact you. They are the placement coordinator. So they would probably take some of sessions also in terms of guiding you how to look for opportunities in digital marketing space. And then they would take your resume, review your resume, make sure that from a preparation point of view, everything is ready at your end. Right now, we get good number of organizations contacting us for digital marketing opportunities, especially at fresher level or 0 to 2 years experience level. And so if you're one of those categories right now, there are much more opportunities, and we are very short of candidates. We get about 70 to 100 companies contacting every month, and we've not been able to provide candidates to everybody. So only thing that is needed from your end is to make sure that you're making yourself fully ready by completing all the work. So that's, but yeah, their role would come at the later stage in your course. So that's a bit about kind of people who would be contacting you as well. Any questions so far before we move on? Anybody? Great. So looks like I'm making myself absolutely clear. Um, moving on. Yeah. In terms of who you should be contacting, uh, in case you have any issue, the first person you should get in touch with, as I told you earlier, is your coordinator. And the contact details are there in the Learning Center account. It would be there in the welcome mail that you would have got from our side, and you must have got a welcome call from your coordinator as well. If you haven't, you probably would be getting another couple of days. And if you face any problem with your coordinator, the person you should get in touch with is Neha. She heads the delivery team. So my request is, please note down her email ID, neha@digitalvidya.com. So anytime you're facing any issue with any kind of a delivery issue, you should immediately get in touch with her, and she will get it resolved. And if there is anything that can be done to make this program more valuable for you, is some anything that you think is not getting resolved for you, or like there's something better that can be done also, please don't hesitate, shoot me an email. You can note down my email ID also. It's kapil@digitalvidya.com. I'll try to ensure that whatever best actions can be taken in that regard, we are taking that at our end. So that's about the issue resolution. Now, I want to take this conversation forward and want to share with you some of the challenges that are there in digital marketing space. Digital marketing as a domain is very different from other spaces you might have experienced or might be aware of in the professional domain. Personally, I've been exposed to, I'm an entrepreneur, digital Vidya is my fourth venture. So I've been exposed to a lot of different domains, but yeah, most of my career has been in digital marketing space. And last couple of years, I've been spending a lot of time in data analytics and data science space as well. So, learning digital marketing, in my opinion, is very different. And there are some challenges. People who do not embrace these challenges, they keep, uh, yeah, they keep struggling a lot. And the people who embrace these challenges actually sail through and scale up their career very well. But people who do not embrace these challenges, they keep struggling a lot in their career. So it's very, very important that you're aware of these challenges and you know how to deal with them appropriately. Sham, I think let's take up this question once I've actually explained you the entire stuff, and then that would be the right time where you will be aware of it, and then you can choose whether 3 months is better for you or 6 months is better for you. By the way, you can switch it anytime you want. If it's going too hectic for you, you can switch it back to 6 months if you're working on 3 months schedule right now. My overall take on that would be. Um, Without, like, don't just schedule yourself for the live sessions unless you're not giving sufficient time to yourself to practice things hands on. There's not going to make much difference, so you should space it out if you're not getting sufficient time to do the assignments, but you'll become more clear as I explain the overall course structure. Great. So moving on, in terms of challenges that are there, first and foremost, this is actually a very, very big challenge in digital marketing space. Digital marketing is actually vast. It is already vast and it's expanding at a very fast pace. Just to give you an idea about it, Facebook releases a new update almost every week. And for business owners, there is every quarter there is an update from them to on the new features that digital marketers, business owners needs to update themselves so that they can leverage Facebook properly. Google makes close to 500 changes in its algorithm every year. On top of it, if I look at the new channels that are coming up, every year there is one or two new channel that is coming up. A couple of years back, nobody was talking about Pinterest, Instagram, Snapchat as the main set of channel to promote it. And now, you can't think of not learning them. Uh, so, and like if I look at new tools that are getting introduced, new tactics that are evolving, something new is happening every day. So the problem is that if you do not keep yourself updated, you will be obsolete very soon. This is true for individuals, this is true for organizations, this is true for agencies as well. I've seen agencies going obsolete if they're not introducing new services or not evolving their existing services. So if you haven't updated yourself for a period of 3 months to 6 months, you will be obsolete. That's the big, big, big challenge in digital marketing space. Sharing with you my example, right now I can't even take one session for you. The reason is that last couple of years, uh, most of my time has gone in managing business issues rather than taking care of any digital marketing campaigns. So while I'm aware of most of the stuff, but I'm not aware of the latest technical details, right? So it's very, very critical and important that you figure out a way to ongoingly keep yourself updated. So that's a big, big, big problem in digital marketing, or you can say an opportunity as well. You will be learning throughout your life if you want to take this domain seriously. Secondly, and this challenge is because of the same issue that it's expanding at a very fast pace, you won't find anybody who would know everything in digital marketing. It's practically impossible. In my career, I haven't met that person so far. And I think it's practically impossible to reach to that stage also. So whoever you would talk to would give you a different perspective of what digital marketing is all about. And you're going to face this problem a lot in Digital Vidya's training. The problem is that you would be interacting with somewhere between 6 to 12 different trainers during your training. On top of it, every Friday we try to invite some industry expert to come and share with you their ideas about digital. These are the people from media space, from Facebook, from LinkedIn, people from tool industry, from HubSpot and other tools, people from agency backgrounds, people from various brands, the brand managers who've been doing exceptionally good in digital. They would come and share, what is working for them in their perspective. And a lot of time you would find their views contradictory to what is being taught in the class. Even within your training program, you would find two trainers contradicting to each other in a big way. So I think the best way to learn digital is listen to the conversation by first trying to understand with what perspective that person is sharing that view. And then at the end, try to create your own perspective. And that is possibly the best way you can actually understand what is digital marketing all about. Right. So I'm going to spend some time on this particular slide. Sandeep, my email ID is kapil@digitalvidya.com and Neha's email ID is neha@digitalvidya.com. Just hold on, everybody. I'll just write it down in the chat section. You can note it down. Great. So what you see on the screen right now, these are the 6 core digital marketing modules. So when we actually created the digital marketing training program, uh, we wanted to cover 100% of digital marketing, but at the same time, we do not want to miss out on the depth. So we thought that if we actually go after 100%, then we would not be able to go on the main topic of digital marketing in depth. So what we did was we divided the entire digital into two set of modules. One are the core modules, wherein everybody who wants to understand digital needs to build mastery in them, and we call them as the core modules. And rest are the specialization modules, which would cover the whole vast of topic, and wherein we try to cover as much depth as possible. But even if we miss out on a good amount of depth, that's okay. But in these 6 areas, nobody should miss out anything, and that's the reason we've separated out some core objectives, core modules. Now let me just first of all share with you what are these core modules. The core modules are search engine marketing, that is SEM. Then EM is email marketing. SMM is social media marketing. IM is inbound marketing. SEO is search engine optimization. And WA is web analytics. So before I continue further, I just wanted to have a quick check. We're going to go in depth on each one of them. We're going to spend 1 month individually on all these 6 core modules. But is there any one of you who has not heard of these terms? You may not have complete idea about it. That's okay. But is there any term that you have no idea what this whole thing is all about? Then I'll just briefly explain you that term. So you can just mention it in the chat section. Which term do you want me to explain? Okay, inbound marketing. Okay, inbound marketing. A lot of you are not aware. Okay, inbound marketing and web analytics. Yes, Grish, you can have videos of all the industry interactions, the future one and the past one also. We have done more than 150 interactions so far, and those are very, very helpful. So you will be able to generate that for sure. Okay, SCM Sandeep for you as well. Got it. So since a lot of you are asking for inbound marketing, let me start with inbound marketing first. I'll give you an analogy to make it clear to you. Suppose there are 12 of you in the session right now, right? I give you an assignment. Go outside your house right now and try to catch flies. And the person who will catch maximum number of flies will be the winner. You have 15 minutes, right? And I give you two options. Option number one, you can go out with a net in your hand. Now, suppose you pick up that option. Right? What will happen? You would go outside your hand, you would have net in your hand. You would first think, where can I find maximum aggregate of flies? You will go to that place. You will try to catch as many of them in the net as possible, right? And you'll not be able to open the net multiple times, but you would, just try to grab as many of them as possible. The flies will resist that. Some of them will be able to escape, and then you will bring them back, right? That's one option. Secondly, I give you a bug zapper. You might have seen that fluorescent color light outside a lot of shops. Now, if you pick up that option, what would happen? You will still go outside your house, right? You still have to figure out where you can find maximum aggregate of flies. But when you reach there, you would just keep a bug zapper there. The bug zapper is designed in such a way that it lures bugs. Not just that, before even a bug would realize what is going on, it will touch one of the live wire and die instantaneously. That is inbound marketing. So inbound marketing starts with attracting audience, and it doesn't stop there. It's about taking care of the entire customer journey, all the visitors to converting them to high potential leads. Okay, got it, Shyam. Thanks. All the leads then converting them to your customers, and all the customers converting them to your brand evangelizers. All of that comes in inbound marketing. Everything you would have heard about marketing automation, landing page design, website conversion optimization, creating nurturing emails, creating workflows, all that is part of inbound marketing, right? Um, Yeah, so got it. The brief idea was given, Sham, but I'm not sure whether everybody have gone through that or not. So that's the reason I just want to quickly go through it once. So web analytics is a lot of you are actually from the traditional sales and marketing domain, right? And we have done some campaigns in on radio, on print, and believe me, I was really surprised to see the dearth of metrics that are available in other media channel. You have to just guess it with some indicative metrics. In digital marketing space, you will be amazed to look at the way or to degree to which you can measure and analyze your campaigns. That's exceptionally good about digital. And so, for example, if you run some campaign on Facebook, Facebook will give you detailed analytical report on how the campaign has behaved on Facebook. If you run some campaign on Google, or for that matter, any other media channel, that media channel will give you detailed report on how exactly the campaign has run there. The kind of metrics they would provide, you will be amazed by that. But suppose you have your own online presence, you have your website, or you have a blog. Now, what are people doing there? Which sources they are coming from? Are they staying or are they leaving? What stage are they living? How much time they are spending? What is really happening? How can I improve my user experience on my platform? Who is going to give you that analysis? There's nobody else involved, right? So what you do is you install an analytics system on your website or on your blog, and that is what is called as web analytics. The world's leading web analytics tool is Google Analytics, and um, we're going to spend about close to 5 weeks on Google Analytics, and uh, yeah, sorry. So this, in fact, this is one of the most comprehensive module at our end, and Google Analytics has an advanced certification called GAIQ. So we're going to make sure that all of you become an expert in GAIQ certification exam, and all of you clear that exam as well. So that's about Google Analytics. I think one of you also asked for SEM. SEM is search engine marketing. So all the paid ads that you can run on search engines or search engine properties, that comes in the Google Analytics. So web analytics you can install on any web property that you own. It could be a website. Now, website could be like an e-commerce website, or you could just set up a discussion forum, or it could be a corporate website, it could be a blog. So wherever you want your own analytics to be set up, you need a web analytics. It is fundamentally used to evaluate website or a blog. Tejashwar. So I'm assuming that now you're clear about all these terms, all of you. Great. So the one of the you mentioned about GAIQ, not JIQ, GIQ, which is Google Analytics Individual Qualification, something like that, right? So one of the points that I want to make at this stage is that all these six core areas of digital, they are ocean in itself. If it's possible, in fact, that we can create the 6 months module on each one of them individually. Like that would make this course like a 4 years, 3 to 4 years long course. And even then things would not be sufficient because all of things would have changed by then, and we have to sort of redo the whole thing once again. So it's always a challenge to understand, since it's more vague and spread out as a digital space, to what extent you should cover the course. So the idea is that the way we have tried to capture it is we've tried to ensure that each module sufficient weightage has been given, which means that each has been taught by a different trainer, and secondly somebody who's an hands-on expert in that area. And on each one of them individually we are going to spend minimum of 1 month. SCM and web analytics are 5 weeks long module. Email marketing is 3 weeks, but there's another sessions which is 1 week session which has been added in the specialization sessions now, and rest of them are um, the 4 week long module. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that you get all the knowledge of latest stuff that is happening in this area. That is for sure we will do. And then through exercise, through during the class case studies and showcasing you various tools, you will be able to get some hands-on exposure to what is going on. But once that module complete, you will always be left with an experience that there's so much more to learn in this. There's so much more you want to practice, and then we will move to the next module. So idea is that focus to make sure that you're aware of all of them and start getting hands-on on them, right? And for each of these modules, we have actually listed down a set of learning outcomes which we have designed working with various brands and agencies on what do they really expect from somebody who has just knowledge of digital but haven't really done any hands-on work so far. And so those learning outcomes are there in the learning center account. Once you log in and you would see the module, the first thing you would see is the learning outcomes. You should aim to achieve those learning outcomes. Even if you miss out on few set of tools, that's okay, right? But that's what you should aim for. Praful, before I answer to your question, so affiliate marketing is a specialization module. It's a 2 week long module and it'll be done separately. It's part of this course, but it's not part of the core module. Right. So Praful, I'll just answer to your question in a different way. So if you really notice in this particular slide, inbound marketing and web analytics I've labeled in blue, rest of them are in green, right? So this is particularly true keeping in mind how exactly professionals are working in this space. And this would be good for you if you want to jump into at an implementation level in digital. So if you look at the entire digital industry, there are, I can broadly divide them into two categories. You could be working for a brand or you could be working in an agency taking care of brands. So typically when we get requirement from agencies, there is more demand for specialized professionals, right? Give us SEM professional, email marketing professional, SEO professional, social media professional. And when there is a demand from brand, most of the brand want generic digital marketing people, people who know everything, right? So that they can take care of implementation, take care of internal team, take care of the delivery agency relationships as well, right? So for all the generic digital marketing profile, you need to have a mastery of all of them. In fact, a lot of people who jumped into digital and are just working as an SEO or SEM professional, they do our course to get a 360-degree view of everything, because after a while they feel that their career is now stagnated. There's not been given more of a strategic role because of lack of knowledge of other digital space. So that's the reason, even if you are taking up SEO and SEM as one of the space, um, you, you need to have a mastery in other domains as well. And overall, what I see is that the industry demand is more from brand side rather than from agency side. Agencies usually recruit freshers, and they don't really, they would train those people based on how they want work to be done, and so they get a limited view of digital. But that's how they primarily recruit. But most of the people, like most of the companies that contact us, or most of the jobs in the industry are coming from the brand side, and there is a more need for generic digital marketing profile right now than specialized digital marketing people at this point of time. If you notice why I've actually labeled IM and web analytics in blue is because there is no direct job that is related only to these modules. Email market, email marketing, SEM, and other domains, there are direct jobs that are there, but inbound marketing is still evolving. Inbound marketing in web analytics is a necessary and compulsory secondary skill set that would enhance your performance for all digital profiles, right? So there's no way you can perform good in SEM without a good knowledge of web analytics, without a good knowledge of inbound marketing, without you know how to convert those leads properly and how to take care of them. So for all generic profiles and for all specialist profile, these two skills are sort of mandatory secondary skill sets, right? So I hope that, Praful, yeah, that answered your question. Yeah. Anybody else? That's I've actually said a lot on this slide. So if there is anybody, any other question you have, let me know. Otherwise, we will move on. So idea is that you should be aware of the industry. You should be aware of the challenges that are there before you move forward. Looks like I'm making myself absolutely clear. Not many questions are coming up. Okay. Uh, Great. So just to sort of summarize some points. So first and foremost, never ever try to reach a stage that you know it all. It will never happen. It is not possible to get to that place. And you will always have a feeling that there is so much to learn digital. You need to be okay with that. Secondly, as I told you, take this course as a starting point, right? This, like, you would get a bit of an hands-on exposure and you would know a lot of stuff, but then it is up to you which area you want to practice on and go into depth. So that's where you would move on, right? So the next discussion that I want to have you with you is in terms of skill sets. Are you ready or not? Right? And here the context is not to get a job in digital. You can get a job in digital without doing the course of CDMM also. That's not the point. The point is, if I look at the profiles of people who have done exceptionally good in their initial years of career in digital space, what is so special about them? What is it that really defines them or sort of categorize them separately? Uh, so, if I, from that perspective, look at the skill set requirement, fundamentally, there are two core skill sets that are there in digital space. First and foremost, you need to be exceptionally good with content writing. There is no shortcut to that. At a very basic level, you should be good in writing emails. You should write an email, a professional email without any mistake. That's a minimum expectations. If I actually go to various brands and these are the least that they expect. Somebody coming joining digital marketing industry and if they can't even write a proper formatted emails, it's a problem. Big problem. On top of it, the content is needed in everything in digital, whether you're creating ad copies on various platforms, whether you're taking care of email marketing, even in SEO, you're creating articles, PRs, blog posts, reviewing them, online optimization, like everything and anything. Social media, you need content almost every minute. So if there's any one of you who is not good with content, you're going to struggle big time. I've seen people career getting stagnated, stopped after a while. You would be able to get into digital space for sure. There are jobs available, but then you won't find after a year or two you would feel frustrated. Even nobody would like give you further set of accountabilities, and there would be a stagnation in your career if that's not one of your core area. Secondly, you need to be exceptionally good analytically. As I told you earlier, in digital, there's lot of metrics, lot of number crunching needs to be done. So usually, like for example, if I share with you example of digital vidya, um, we would get problems like suddenly we'll see that the lead generation cost from Google has increased by 20%. Now the person who's taking care of digital, he will be contacted and we'll ask him, go identify the reason and try to figure out the problem behind it and work out a solution, and then he would do all kind of number crunching, do experimentations and try to come up with a solution, right? It needs a lot of analytical ability. People who are not good analytically, they don't get those kind of jobs, or they do not graduate to those kinds of profiles. But if you're good with content, like, and You could be at any level. If you're somebody who's been reading books throughout your life and you're more of a storyteller, you whatever you post on social media, it engages people around you. So you're going to excel irrespective of what you learn in digital space for sure. And people who are good analytically and have a good content skills, they're going to have a good future in digital for sure. But if you do not have that, that means that there's some work to be done. And in terms of the optional skills that would further enhance your performance as digital marketer, first and foremost, um, if there's any one of you is coming from graphics designing background, like you have an exposure to image designing or website designing or any kind of user interface designing also, so that would really help. Otherwise, as digital marketers, what you do is you coordinate with designers. So you would get requirement to designer, they will create whatever you want them to create, images or brochures or whatever you want, and then you will use them. You're not supposed to do it on your own, right? um, yeah, so copywriting is like a specialized kind of a content writing, I would say. It's, right, but I'm talking about the basic content writing profile over here. Apart from UX designing, if you have a basic idea what is HTML, what is JavaScript, how do JavaScript code look like, not that you can program in JavaScript, but how do JavaScript code look like, what is CSS, it's going to help you. If you do not have that knowledge, don't worry, it won't take more than couple of hours of your time. So just Google around, there's free tutorials available, just read them and that is sufficient. So most of the time you would be seeing those codes and while you're working, so it's good to be aware of it. And if there is anyone of you who's been from programming background, that's going to help you a lot. um, you know Otherwise, digital marketers just create requirement and give it to the tech team. But if you're good technically, there's so many tools that are new tools that are coming up. Using those tools, figuring out what is the problem with the existing implementation, you will be able to spend a lot more hands-on expertise. If you're good in programming, it could be you're good in Python, PHP, maybe in scripting language like JavaScript, or you've done some programming in C++, but you're a technical oriented guy, so it's going to help you a lot. That's like a good plus plus. But again, it is not recommended. I have seen people who have no idea about programming and still they do exceptionally good. You're you're supposed to coordinate with tech team, not to do the technical implementation on your own. And those who are coming from the traditional marketing background, you've done some courses or you've worked in the core marketing space, you aware how to create buyers persona, how do you think from customer perspective. Digital marketing is nothing but marketing, right? So that's going to help you a lot while conceptualizing various campaign in digital marketing space. So that's a bit about skill set requirement. Anybody, any question on this slide? Great. So let's move on. Now, as a next step, I want to share with you some of the pitfalls that are there. These are some of the problems that we ongoingly keep hearing from our participants. And while we are aware of them, there's nothing much that we can do. The best I think we could have done is making you people aware that these are the problems you are going to face for sure, right? And they are there because of the way we have structured the program. So you should be aware of them. So first and foremost, one of the major pitfall in digital marketing or in our training program um, is because of the way we have designed it. What we have done is for every core module, there are 6 or 7 different trainers who take up training sessions, right? And to keep things more transparent, what we have done is rather than giving you a recording of only your trainer, we would actually give you recordings of all the trainers. And on top of it, we'll keep updating your LMS with the latest sessions recording, which means that if you log in your interface after a year, right, and you want to review any of the session, you don't need to watch a recording that of a session that happens a year back. You can actually watch the recording of a session that has happened maybe in that week. that is a small help from our side to give you an updated content. At the same time, it creates problem. You would attend your session and then you would try to watch recording of other trainer, and then you would feel the other trainer is better. He was explaining a particular topic so well, he and your trainer spent just 2 minutes on it and moved on. So these things do happen. Every trainer has a different teaching style. You need to just give them time. All of them are great, all of them are being exceptionally good, and at the end all of you will get full value. But at the same time, if you get into that comparison, then the problems will start. So that's one of the major pitfall. The same pitfall would also come to you in a different way, because every module has a different trainer. You would try to compare your last module trainer with the current module trainer. You could see problems like the other trainer was this trainer is so rude, he's saying all the questions later, and the other trainer was so good, he was so nice to me. And so these kind of problems would happen. So just make sure that since there's a lot of trainer that are involved and everybody has a different learning style, it's good to let them teach in the style that they are comfortable, and that's the best way you can get best value out of them. This is another major pitfall that is there. Which module should I do first? Right? Is there a particular order? So one thing that we have realized is after all these years is there is no perfect module. This whole thing is like a jigsaw puzzle, and no matter which module you do first, you will always invariably have the feeling that you should have done the other one first. At the end, everything will make sense. So there is absolutely no order. Right? So what you should do is you should just go with the uh, order with your coordinator is suggesting. But if you have a particular preference, you can let your coordinator know, and based on availability, they'll try to schedule your sessions accordingly. But at the same time, there is no perfect order. Whichever order you will pick, you will get this feeling for sure. While doing the next module, you should have done this module before that, right? So that's the feeling that is an invariable sure will come throughout your training program. And this, I think, is very very critical for your participation. Those of you who have ever paid 6 months fees in any of the gyms, you would know what I'm talking about. You just started, it's a different feeling right now, right? And but a month down, 2 months down the course, the feelings are going to change for sure, right? You would still come in the live class. There's nothing much to be done. You have to just watch and enjoy and have fun. But when it comes time to go back and do assignment, you will tend to delay it. The day you would do that, your training will stop. Believe me, I've met a lot of people who've done the program and they have no idea what digital marketing is. Only thing that is special about them is they haven't done any assignment. So if you're not doing assignments, there is no learning that is happening. Only thing is you're just feeling good. You would give us good feedback, but that's it. It won't impact your life in any way. So the value you get is directly proportional to the assignments that you would do in this course. Right. So I hope you would take care of that and you'll be able to regenerate yourself. Another problem that is there that we keep hearing from our participants is a lot of them say that we don't say anything. Right. So the way we have designed it is that if you're not coming for the class, nobody's going to call you. We'll send you reminder emails, we'll send you the recording emails, we'll possibly send you a lot of emails that may appear like personalized emails, but they're not really specifically designed for you. But at the same time, if you're facing any problem and you call us, we'll immediately get into action and get those things resolved. But at the same time, we would not be disturbing you on phone. We would just be sort of sending you all the emails, right? Another major problem that people say they get from digital vidya site is they're not getting sufficient placement opportunities. So as I told you earlier, our first job is to ensure that you are prepared. Till the time you are prepared, there would not be any placement opportunities given from our side. So once you complete your assignments, take the required certifications. We'll ask you to take a English language test also if you're a fresher or 0 to 2 years experience. And once we know that now you're ready, your resume has been reviewed, then we will start recommending you in the industry, not before that, right? So that's a bit about Sandeep. What we would do is we have actually created a small course on content writing, and I would by Monday you would receive a URL for the same, along with the recording of today's session. This is not the course that we have created internally. We've just aggregated some of the good material that is there on the web, which is relevant for digital marketers, which would actually sort of kind of teach you how do you create, um, write professional emails, write professional blog posts, write professional articles. So I think that would be good enough. If you think that there's some major gap, I think the best that I've seen is start reading a lot of books. There's no shortcut to it. Building content skills takes time, right? And but just realize the value of it that is there in digital marketing, and then I think you'll be able to take care of that. So now coming to the next conversation, what would be needed from your side? So first and foremost, make sure there is no delay in assignment submission, and we will try to evaluate our assignment within 72 hours of you submitting it. Then make sure you're there in the live session 5 minutes before the session, and attend it on desktop or laptop. Do not attend it on mobile unless you're on the move and there is some real emergency, you can't be at some place, so then you can do that. It has a mobile app, but there's you can't build keep yourself focused for 3.5 hours on mobile. It's practically impossible, and then at times you might want to go browse, do some stuff simultaneously as well. Be at some place which is relatively noise free in your house. It's very very critical and important. That would ensure that the conversations, whenever it is needed, it's proper. And don't do co-work or co-browsing. Just focus, give your full attention to the training session. From the logistics point of view, a reliable net connection, have a working mic and headset, that is good enough. Nothing else is needed. Session will go the way today's session is going. So if today's session is going fine, that's how exactly it's going to go. If there is some last minute major breakdown, and there's a noise issue or something is happening, then we'll possibly cancel the session and we'll do it next time. But it's not so frequent, but it might happen once or twice during your entire training program. In terms of the support after the live session, the trainers who are associated with us, they are all of them are very senior professionals, and they charge exorbitantly for one-to-one consulting. So they are not going to support you one-to-one over phone or over email. We do not have that agreement with them. After the live session, they are going to support you fully on the discussion forum. So this is going to be your only support structure once the live session is over. Right. Another requirement that I have from your side is I would need regular feedback and suggestions from your end, which means that after every session, we'll send you an email to provide us how the session has gone for you. And you're supposed to rate the session on various categories. If by any chance any one of you do not rate it properly, then we would immediately get into action and we'll call you, take further details, and make sure that appropriate actions have been taken. And after every module, we'll take a detailed feedback on a particular module also. It won't take more than 1 to 2 minutes of your time. But this is the only access for us to know that training is going good for you. In fact, after every assignment submission, you would submit the assignment, we will evaluate it, and then you have to rate the assignment evaluation, how the evaluation is for you. That is one way for us to know that training assistants are performing their job properly. And if there is any issue, my request is just provide regular and honest feedback from your end, and then so that would ensure that we are fully aware and things are working fine throughout your training program. Right. So in terms of investment that is needed other than the course fee that you've already paid. So first and foremost, each one of you need to have some online presence where you would be applying your learning. And we're going to ask you to create your own blog. Now, when you create your own blog, two things are needed. One is the domain name, and second is server space. At Digital Vidya, we're going to provide you server space on AWS, but all of you will have to buy your domain name. You can go to GoDaddy or places like this and start creating your buy domain name from them. So typically, if you buy a .co.in domain name, they're relatively cheap. You'll get it at 300 rupees in a year. If you buy a .com domain name, they'll be relatively expensive. You have to spend about 800 rupees for the first year. So if you're really serious about blogging, take a 800 rupees domain name. Otherwise, if you're not so serious, you can take .co.in domain names as well. Right. Apart from then, when your SEA module is going on, you should spend 500 rupees on search ads to promote your blog, 500 rupees on display ads to promote your blog, 500 rupees. This would be like a specialized 2 week program on Facebook ads. We have removed it from social media because it was becoming too extensive. And this program has been designed with Facebook. Um, in fact, we've recently got into partnership with Facebook. All of our candidates would potentially receive ad credits worth 5,000 rupees. But this is not open for everyone. You would have to apply. There's a form that will ask you to fill. And if that gets approved by Facebook, all of you will get 5,000 rupees ad credits also. But if you don't get it, you have to spend at least 500 from your pocket. So that's the, like, you have to spend about close to 2,000 rupees on top of that at various stages during the course. To start with, buying a domain name, that's what you would do in the first week. Any question on that? Great. So now I'm going to talk about things you'd be doing in the first week, and this is critical. I would need about 15 to 20 minutes of discussion in this. Before I do that, any question on anything that we have talked so far? You will mail you very soon. We have recently started with this. Two batches are currently going on, but you've just started with the course, and at the right time, you will receive an email from our side. Okay, I'm based out of India. How much do I need to pay for the domain name? So the amount would be similar. You can just convert it. So you can buy it through GoDaddy or any of the local providers if you want. Go to register.com. GoDaddy is relatively cheap. Otherwise, there are other domain name providers, registrars also. Praful, I did not get your question. I buy domain name with XXXYZ. You can buy domain name with any provider. That's up to you. If that's your question. So should we move on, or if there is any question on this? If it is .xyz, that's okay. It's up to you. You can buy .club, .a, .b. It's up to you, whatever domain name you opt for. Yeah, Tejeshwar, I'll go to talk about that in a short while. Don't worry. We're going to have this conversation once I talk about things to do in the first week. Okay, so moving on. Uh, First and foremost, all of you must have got a set of emails from our side which talks about Digital Vidya training registration completion. And here there are three emails you would get. In the first step, you're supposed to watch a video for 20 minutes. It's mandatory. If you haven't done it so far, make sure that you're doing it. Secondly, it would ask you to provide details of your profile, like whether you need placement support for us. We also has a research-based internship wherein you work with our content team to author content for Digital Vidya's blog, and that'll help you to build expertise on how do you create professional blog posts. So in all that process, uh, like your requirement, you will get details of your profile once you complete all these three steps. So if you haven't done it so far, that's a first step to be done in this week. Make sure that you complete that, right? And without that, you will not be able to access your learning center account properly. Now, as a next step, um, first thing I want to check with all of you is how many of you already have a website or a blog before joining this course. Some of you might have like bought it because we mailed you a detail of a course, but how many of you have a website or a blog and you want to use this course to promote that rather than creating a new one? So you can mention yes if that's your case in the chat section, or you can mention no if that's not the case. Okay, no, 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 no. FB page is separate, Weber. We're not talking about FB page. That doesn't matter. So looks like none of you. Yes, and Instagram and FB. So the Instagram and FB is separate. I'm talking about a website or a blog here. Great. So looks like none of you have it, right? So what you're going to do in first week is all of you are going to create a blog. Now, to move on, to start with, I'm actually sharing a URL with all of you. All of you should go to this URL, log in, and log in with the same credential that was given to you. Just a minute, I'll also do that at my end. Yeah, that was given to you to access your Learning Center account, which is your email ID as a username and email ID as password. After you log in, you should be able to see two courses. One is build your blog in 2.5 hours, and second is promote your blog. If you're not able to see those courses, then let me know. If you can see, just mention yes in the chat section. So all of you go there and log in. Okay, Sham, you can. Okay. Is there anybody who do not have access to these courses? Let me know. So can I assume that all of you have it or you're trying it out? So I'll just wait for another minute for everybody to check it. I've got 5 confirmation out of 12 of you so far. Okay, got it. That's okay, Praful. That's great. You've already done the work that is supposed to be done in the first week. So I'm assuming all of you have it. If anybody who do, okay, Sudarshan, you're saying that I don't. Okay, so what you guys need to do is Sudarshan, and for anybody who is not able to see these courses, what you need to do is you need to go to the other link that I would be sharing you with you in a short while, called it WebHub. So when you go to this link, you would be asked to log in. So just log in with the same credentials, and then they ask you to watch this video. You can ignore it right now. And then there is a question: how would you like to proceed? I have a website or a blog. I want to create a blog. You can press I want to create a blog and press submit. The moment you do that, these two courses will be available in your interface. So here is a link. Webhav and Sudarshan or anybody else who is not able to see these courses, please take this action, and these courses will be then go back to the previous link that I shared with you, and you will be able to see these courses. Let me know once you've done it, and then we'll proceed. Got it. Great. So once you do that, this course will be allotted to you. Now this course has 3 lessons, and lesson 1 has 9 steps to be taken, lesson 2 has 4, and lesson 3, fundamentally there are 6, and the seventh is direction to the next course in a way. So there are 19 steps to be taken. If I go to lesson 1, it starts with finalizing a niche or a domain. Now, what happens is, the question that was asked earlier also, what is the difference between AWS and GoDaddy, right? So when you want to create a website or a blog, right? Website or a blog fundamentally is one and the same thing. You can create a blog also and later on add some pages and convert it into website as well. Then you can add some more stuff on that and make it an e-commerce website also. So, but fundamentally it's one and the same thing. So what you do is to create a website or a blog. One, you need a domain name. Like how should that website or blog be addressed? And secondly, you need to host it somewhere. That is your server provider. So AWS is a server provider. That's where you would be hosting the server. And you have to now buy the domain name from somewhere. And that's where you should do through GoDaddy. You can buy a server from GoDaddy also, by the way. But we encourage you to create the space on AWS. There's a couple of reasons to it. First, AWS is world's most reliable provider. It's relatively expensive compared to other providers, but they give you server for free for 1 year to everybody, whether you are associated with Digital Vidya or not. That doesn't matter. On top of it, we have partnership with them. So to all Digital Vidya's participant, they give $500 of credit as well, which means that your server will be free for a few years, right? And after that, you can switch over to some other provider. You continue with the AWS if you're liking it, right? So that's what you need to do is in the first step, you need to finalize. Okay, on one topic you will be blogging on. That's finalizing your niche. I would say pick up a topic that you're really passionate about. You don't think too much about business. If you want to start a business sometime in future, then you should start blogging on the same topic or the same domain. Otherwise, you can pick up topic like even politics, fitness, or maybe specialized topic like nail paints or beauty products, anything that you want to talk about, right? But something that you really want to come out in public and talk about that. Then based on their niche, search for the available domain name and figure out a domain. Uh, Yeah. So then once your domain name is finalized, the next step is that you need to host your server where all the content and everything will lie. That's what is the meaning of hosting. For that, what you do is that's what would happen in second step. You will create an account on AWS, you will install WordPress there, and that's when your server will be ready. And then you would link your server with the domain name, right? So each and every step is very clearly and carefully explained. So if you actually go through all the guidelines, that's sufficient. You will be able to go through it properly. And in second step, there is a bit of a luck factor that is there, by the way. The luck factor is first and foremost, when you create an account on AWS, it would ask you for your credit card number. If you don't, you have to arrange it from somewhere, credit or debit card. If you don't have it, it'll deduct 2 rupees and then it'll debit back 2 rupees within 2 days. But if they find something fishy or they suspect something fishy in the information they are providing, they would block your account for 24 hours. They are ask you to fill up a form for reevaluation. You have to fill up a form, and within few hours you can just log in back and things would start working. But that's the luck factor that you might schedule to complete all of it in one go, and suddenly you are stopped over here, right? And then you have to sort of come back after a few hours and start it. So make sure that you're budgeting your time accordingly. It says 2.5 hours, but it takes actually around 4 to 5 hours to complete this whole work. Rest of the step would be relatively easy. You might face some challenges in then lesson 2 while setting up the search console, but this would actually help make sure that you're setting up a blog, configuring everything properly, and doing your first blog post. So by the time you would complete the lesson 3, your blog would be ready and you'd be ready to say it in open that you're a blogger and this is your blog, right? And so that's the work that you have to do in the first week. Yes, you will buy the domain name from GoDaddy and link it to the server on AWS. Just follow the guideline, uh, Tejaswar, the way it has been mentioned in a step-by-step order, and you would be able to do it properly, right? So I want to create a working structure among all of us so that we can work together in a way. So first and foremost, I'm sharing this link with all of you. All of you should go to this link and provide the details about you. This would ask you for your name, whether you are creating a new blog, yes or no. Just mention yes. I think that's true in all or for all of you. Then what is your existing level of understanding of creating blog? If you have already started, like Praful mentioned that he's already completed. So wherever you are in this course, since it's been given to you earlier, you can just mention that stage and press submit. So once I have data with all of you, we'll create a working structure with all of us to work together. If you have created a domain name in AWS, do we still need a link? You don't need, you don't create a domain name, you create a server in AWS. And Sandeep, you would need a domain name. If you already have a domain name, you don't need to buy it again. You want us to do it right now? Yes, right now, Shyam, go to this link and fill up this form. The link that has been shared to you in the chat section, just go to this link and fill up the form. So I've got input from 6 of you, supposed to be 12, 6 more left. Once I have input from all of you, then we'll move on. From 9 of you, 3 remaining. I can see Praful, your name in this. Whoever is remaining, please complete it fast. Two remaining. 2 of you haven't done it. Guys, can you please complete it fast so that we can move to the next stage? Vaibhav got it. 11, 1 remaining. Praful, I don't see your name in this. Okay, you got it. Okay, 12. So here is like all 12 of us, 12 of you. And now I'm going to take this entire data, we'll paste it here. So this is going to be a working sheet. All of us will have edit rights to it. So what you need to do is anytime you complete any of the step, like you complete step 1, you can mention done over here. Then you can mention done over here, right? So like that, you have to complete all the 9 steps in lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. So simultaneously keep updating this sheet as you're progressing further. And once you complete all the 3 lessons, then just update your blog URL over here, right? So then what we'll do is we'll review each other's blog also so that we know what everybody has done. And you have to keep updating it simultaneously as you're working. So just to sort of, first let me just give you a this URL. Take a note of this URL as well. I'll just share it. Chat section. Here is a link. All of you should just press this link and come to this sheet. And you guys can, Praful, you can mention, Tejeswar, you can also mention whatever steps you have completed so far. You can mention done next to those steps. And rest of you, you have to keep updating as you progress further. My request is that's what you have to do in the first week, but let's not wait till Friday. Let's get everything complete by Wednesday. Is that something that all of you can manage? Will all of you be able to take out 5 hours of your time by Wednesday? Anybody who has an issue with this, let me know. You will be able to complete this by Wednesday. So I'll just sort of put it in a different way. All of you should go to this last column by when it will complete and mention the day when you're completing it. Right? It's going to take 5 hours of your time, as I told you earlier. All of you should mention the date you're completing it so that we know. That's a commitment from your side to all of us. We normally don't use these kinds of sheets in the regular exercises, so I'm just trying it out in the blogging case, and if that works, then we'll possibly try to implement the same in various assignments as well. Great. So Neha, input from your side. Profile, I'm assuming that you're already completed or you already have a blog, so you can just mention your blog URL. Sneha, Vaibhav, you should also mention Rahul by when you're completing it. So this is going to be our working structure, right? Um, for the first week, and I'll keep reviewing it on daily basis. If you face any issue, there's a in the discussion forum there is a category called online presence. Here is the URL for the same. You can just post your query there and somebody will reply back ASAP. Right? So I'm assuming that we'll actually complete 100%. All of us, all the work will be completed by Wednesday. I think few of you have taken up Thursday. So let's take it Thursday in that case. Thursday is the final day. Let's not have even one person work incomplete after Thursday, right? And I also review this sheet on daily basis. And I would request all of you to keep reviewing it. And whoever is posting their blog URL, you should keep reviewing their blog as well. Profile, you're definitely leading right now. Completed all the steps. Great. Great. So that's the work to be done in the first week. That's all what I wanted to communicate. Unless there is any question that is left unanswered, let me know. Anything that can come in the way of you taking full value out of this program, anything you want to discuss regarding the program, let me know. Anything that is not clear, all the things that I've talked about. Hosting means, it's a server like a machine where your code actually resides. So, for example, if somebody mentioned digitalvidya.com, what is to be displayed? Where is that Where is that code uh, currently residing on? That's the hosting provider. So you need to host your blog somewhere, host your website somewhere. And so there is a charge for hosting, there is a charge for domain name. The domain name you're buying from the domain name registrar, and then you need a hosting service also. So that's what we are recommending. Hosting is do it on AWS. Tejaswar, is that clear? Okay, guys. So once again, thank you, everybody. Uh, I hope you're now clear how the training is going to go. And I really want to thank all of you once again for trusting Digital Vidya in your journey to learn digital marketing. And I sincerely hope that we'll be able to justify that. So, as I told you earlier, anytime anything that can be done to make this program more valuable for you, you can send me an email and I'll take care of everything. And rest, all the best to all of you for learning digital marketing. Thank you very much. The session is now closed. Thanks a lot.